At this time, I would like to call to order the regular scheduled meeting of the Davie County Board of Education's December 1st meeting. At this time, we're moving on to the agenda. Adopting the agenda, I would like, if I could get a motion to adopt the agenda. We have a motion by Ms. Owens. We have a second by Mr. Drexler. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. At this time, we're moving on to closed session section of our meeting. I need a motion to go into closed session to preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to the North Carolina General Statutes listed on our agenda, to discuss personnel matters protected by state law, and to discuss student matters made confidential by general statutes and FERPA. Do I have a motion? Have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? Have a second by Ms. Horn. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. We're now in closed session. Welcome to the December 1st, 2015 regular scheduled meeting of the Davie County Board of Education. At this time, I'd like to reconvene the meeting, and we'll start off with the invocation. If you would, please bow with me. As we gather this evening, I express thanks for this day and all of its blessings. I ask this board to be mindful of the business we are about to undertake. We're thankful for everyone in attendance tonight. Further, we're thankful for the opportunity to govern and the freedoms we enjoy. We pause to remember the students, faculty members, and families in our system and community who are facing challenges. Our positive thoughts are with them. As always, we seek wisdom to make the best decisions for the students and citizens of Davie County. Amen. At this time, we're moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will ask the Girl Scout Troop 2581 from Smith Grove United Methodist Church to come up. Thank you. That was such a wonderful job. We appreciate it. At this time, we're moving on to approval of minutes from our regular scheduled meeting on November the 3rd. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes? I have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? Have a second by Ms. Horn. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Now we're moving on to important dates, and I've got a few that I will point out here. On December the 7th, the Board of Commissioners have their meeting at 6 o'clock in their meeting room. We have the PTEC celebration breakfast on December the 11th, board members from 8 to 10. That's in at UNCG. On the 14th at 9 a.m., we have a DARE graduation at Moxwell Elementary. On the 15th, we have a DARE graduation at 1 o'clock at William R. Davie. And on the 16th at 9 a.m., we have a DARE graduation at Canatzer Elementary. And then we will have our next regular scheduled meeting will be on January the 4th. Nope, I'm sorry, on January the 5th at 6 a.m. back here in this room. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. Did I say 6 a.m.? Getting all messed up here. Sorry about that. 6 p.m. And that's all I have in important dates. At this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Hartness for his superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving holiday. I will tell you, my comments will be brief tonight, but I want to just tell you a few things that I am thankful for. As I look back over my calendar in the month of November and the things going on in the school system, I'll tell you several things I'm thankful for. Last week, Mr. Wallace and I had the opportunity to meet with a local minister who shared with us the vision of his church and how they wanted to reach out and support our school system. And he's not the only minister who helps us. Our relationship with churches in Davie County is one that we cherish and we're thankful for. A lot of people in many churches are providing support in so many ways. And as many of you have mentioned so many times, our donation report every month that you see a lot of people have big hearts that are helping our school system. So we're thankful for our churches and our civic organizations, the foundations in this community that support our schools. We say thank you. I'm thankful for the many ways that our students recognize veterans in the month of November. I shared some of those things with you, and we had celebrations at each of our schools, and just a nice showing of understanding what America is about and celebrating our veterans and supporting them. I'm thankful for the Stars of the Year that we recognized in the Stars of the Year banquet, and I appreciate those of you who were able to attend that event. Corporate partners. We have a lot of corporate partners within Davie County, and one of those is a bank out of Winston-Salem, BB&T. And BB&T has been a partner of the school system for a couple years now, in a special way, providing some excellent training for our principals through the BB&T Institute. And in November, I was privileged to be part of a group of about 50 business leaders in the Triad to go through a day-long institute at BB&T about engagement with your employees and your staff. And we appreciate that free opportunity for us and other business leaders to engage together. I want to thank Donna McNeil and the staff at Davie High and the staff in our office who put together the Career Expo this month. It's an excellent opportunity to bring together businesses in our local community college together at the high school to give our students a vision of what's available in the community as a career once they graduate. You know, we have issues that we deal with on a daily basis in our community. I look at my calendar this week, and I'm going to be at meetings with the High School Athletic Association and with other superintendents in a quarterly meeting on Friday, and I'll hear about things that are going on in other parts of the state. And when I hear about those, it makes me come back home and say I'm thankful to live in Davie County and work for Davie County Schools, because we should all be thankful for the system that we have and the community that we live in. So with those thoughts, it's almost Christmas time. It is hard to believe this year is coming to a close. So I would wish everyone a wonderful Christmas season and a happy new year. 2016 will be here before we know it, and it's going to be a wonderful year ahead. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Hartness. At this time, we're moving on to our construction project update, and we've got first up and only up, Mr. Jim Moorfield is going to talk to us about our new Davie County High School project.
Good evening. How are y'all? It has rained a lot this month. But we have made progress. We've had a couple of meetings, scheduled meetings. One of them was to talk about the football stadium and the fact that we are getting a late start on preparing that. And we've made some changes, and it looks like, from a conversation I had this morning with Dr. Hartness, that we're going to be able to implement those changes very shortly. And we have great expectations that the playing field will be in superb shape on that first game, home game y'all have. And then we also had a meeting with the anticipated or the proposed propane supplier for the school, which was Suburban. Got some information from those folks about the tank size, what they were looking for, and we will be planning for the implementation of that service as we go into the spring and summer months of next year. All the footings are in place in the main building. The only thing that's not finished is the ag masonry automotive building in the back. We were working on that before Thanksgiving, and it failed the proof rolling process and had too much water in the dirt, and I suspect it still is. So we're going to need some drying time to get that building ready, but everything else on the main building is looking good. We have finished the second floor concrete slabs. All of those are in place, and we are anticipating pouring the first third floor slab next Tuesday. If the weather holds out, that's our goal. And the masonry contractor is working on masonry walls for the third floor on the tower building. And the site sewer is all the way up to the main building on the north side between the building and the practice field. So most of that work is in place. The only thing that we really need to do now that's critical is make that connection to the main sewer from the site. And this month, we also placed the asphalt base on the bus parking lot, and that will become construction parking. So during the dry times that we have in the next few months, we'll be working on the student parking lot and getting it ready to pave as soon as the weather turns warm again, which I hope is not that long. I have a couple of pictures. And one of them is just a masonry wall across from the media center. And the other photograph is the steel erector. He's local, as you may know. Just to give you a picture of how he flies in his bar joist to the site. He does a very good job of being efficient. I'll hand these out and then I'll ask for questions. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Moorfield?
Well, that's great. I
Easy
guess.
night.
Before I leave, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we look forward to next year getting a lot of work done. So have a good evening.
Thank you for the update. We appreciate all the hard work, and we know you're putting a lot of time in the project. We appreciate that, and we're appreciate all those subcontractors pushing through the mud, and they're doing a good job. Been out on the site a few times the last few weeks, and it really looks good.
Okay.
Also, have had some comments from the neighbors that they wanted to commend the construction crews for not getting mud all over the road, and even with it being very muddy, they say that it's been the road's been clean, and so I just thought that was a little.
We've had our opportunities, but we've cleaned it up.
That's right. but we appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to move on to recognitions, and first up, I will call on Mr. Jeff Wallace to talk to us about the Middle School Health Educator of the Year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, I have the privilege of recognizing one of our staff members. If Leah Reynolds would step this way, please. Ms. Reynolds is one of our fine educators in this county at William Ellis Middle School. And Ms. Reynolds has been recognized and earned the NC AFERD, which that's an acronym that has a lot of, it's a long title, but either way, it's related to the athletics and health of our children. And she has been recognized as the North Carolina Middle School Health Teacher of the Year for 2016. So congratulations, Ms. Reynolds. Ms. Reynolds is a 2008 graduate of UNCG with her certification in physical education and health. She is currently attending Appalachian State, working on an instructional technology master's degree. She, for the past 3 years, she has coached both boys and girls soccer at William Ellis. She has, I noticed in here that she's taught math for a year or so, which is awful intriguing. She is actively a part of rolling out a new character education program in the county. She takes on various leadership roles. She serves as, helps with the athletic director duties at times when she's not coaching. In 2011, she received the Amy Carroll and Sherry Little Memorial Convention Scholarship. And some of the comments from her staff, administration, that she's a shining example as a teacher. She's a leader. She's always willing to step up, and she's an outstanding collaborator. Ms. Reynolds, we're glad you're on our team. I have had the fortune to work with her on a couple of committees. She does an outstanding job. So I just want to say thank you, and we're glad you're part of our team, and go Health Educator of the Year. Congratulations. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
It is an honor to stand with a person who has been recognized by the state. That's major. And to be here in Davie County to bring your expertise, we are truly blessed to have you and so honored. On behalf of the Davie County Board of Education, thanks is not enough. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Reynolds. At this time, we're moving on to the 2015 Holiday Card Art Contest winners, and Dr. Hartness is going to present those.
Good evening, everyone. It is fun to be on this side of this podium speaking to you instead of someone speaking to me, which is not always bad. This is a meeting that I always look forward to. This is our Holiday Art Contest, and we have winners from each of our schools who have submitted their holiday art to my office, and a lot of people have voted on that art, and we're going to reveal the winners of this holiday art contest this evening. I hope as you came in tonight, you were able to see the beautiful artwork over here that's framed, and boys and girls, when you leave the building tonight, if you will take your artwork that's framed, and you also have a certificate from the board underneath each one of those pieces of artwork, we're just really proud of you. So here's what we're going to do. We have a little video that shows all of these cards so everyone will be able to see them. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll call each of the Holiday Art Contest winners from their schools. When I call your name, if you'll come forward, we'll line up here, and then we'll show the video. Okay? You ready? Okay, so from Central Davie Academy, we have Miss Juliana Grubb. Juliana's here. From Coolamy Elementary School, Hannah Elizabeth McMillan. All right. From Carnatzer Elementary School, we have Daniela Diaz-Botello. From Davie Early College High School, we have Glamar Galeas. Okay. From Davie County High School, Alexis Doolin. From Moxville Elementary School, Mia Claire Myers. All right. From North Davie Middle School, Ashton Harris. From Pine Brook Elementary School, Annika Lane Bell. From Shady Grove Elementary School, Hun Sao Cho. From South Davie Middle School, Victoria Bailey. So she is acting in the Christmas production. Okay, awesome. So we'll miss Victoria tonight. From William R. Davie Elementary School, Keelan Oakes. And from William Ellis Middle School, Dara Osborne. Let's give all these boys and girls a big hand. So our technology department is going to dim the lights and show the video. And guys, when your card comes up on the screen, if you'll just step forward so people will know that it's your card, okay? Okay, so here we go.
This is my wish for the world, that peace will find its way to every boy and girl. This is a time for harmony, that love be the song that everybody sings. Fill the air with joyful noise, ring the bell and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth, let there be peace on earth. Lift your light, let it shine, shine
Before we recognize our winners, I'd also like to recognize our dedicated art teachers. If you're here, if you would stand, Jessica Allen, Lisa Baskin, Amy Chappell, Amanda Uhas, Dana Roberts, Lauren Reith, Mindy Ledbetter, and Angela Rockwell. We thank you for your leadership of these boys and girls. Okay, so our winners will receive a Walmart gift card, and we're ready to announce our grade level winners now. So our elementary winner from Coolamy Elementary School is Hannah Elizabeth McMillan. Hannah? All right. I don't believe she's here, but Alexis Doolin from Davie County High School is our high school winner. And our holiday art contest winner for this year, whose artwork will appear on the front page of our Christmas card that goes out from the school district, and each of you will get some to send to some of your family as well. And all of your artwork is on the back as well. And our winner this year is... Do I hear some drum roll back there? My naughty board members back there. Ashton Harris. So here's the Christmas card, and Ashton is on the front. And did you give this a title? Would it be like Frozen mascots? I love it. I thought it was very creative. All these were very creative this year. So we're proud of our boys and girls, and we hope you all have a wonderful Christmas season. Thank you.
That's awesome. Congratulations to all the winners. We have some wonderful artists here. Hopefully they're going to move on to art teachers in Davie County schools. It'll be wonderful. We'll give everybody a minute to just clean out. That's right. All right, we'll move on now to our consent agenda. At this time, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda. We have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Horn. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. This time we're moving on to business items, and the only business item we have on the agenda is an interlocal agreement, labeled interlocal agreement for the Youth Park Road, and we'll call on Dr. Hartness to talk to us about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've asked our technology staff to bring up the map so that we can discuss this and have a visual. In the process of reviewing a conversion request, as you all are aware, the existing access road for the Davie County Little League Youth Park would need to be moved for the stadium to be placed at the front of the new high school site. And that's something that's been anticipated for a long time, and we went through a conversion process And we have had a request from, or recommendation from the National Park Service, since there was some land water conservation funds used to build that park back in the 80s. We've been asked or recommended that we have an interlocal agreement with the County of Davie to address part of the road, the existing road, that crosses the Board of Education's property. And let me try to explain this if I can. Y'all want to all look this way, I'll use my pointer down here. So, this is the existing Little League Park. This is North Davie Middle School, and this is the high school site. If you're coming down Farmington Road, you turn left onto the existing access road for the Little League Park, and you follow that green line all the way down here on the yellow line, and you come and park in this parking lot between the fields at the youth park. When this field was, or this park was first designed, there was property here along the line of this road and in this pink shaded area where the road was supposed to be constructed to get back to the park. But the road was instead constructed across the Board of Education's property here, labeled existing access road .2 something acres. I can't see that number real clear from here. So the existing road, the conversion of the road is not in question by the National Park Service, but they want to clean up and ensure that there is access to the park, not just by the County of Davie, but since it crosses the Board of Education's property, that we have a formal interlocal agreement that would allow that continuous access to that park. You would be approving an interlocal agreement to approve something that's been going on for over 30 years. So there's no disagreement between the Board of Education or the County of Davie over access to this park. This interlocal agreement is a formality that we've been asked to approve and the county to approve to ensure that there is continuous access to the park. Does that kind of make sense, Mr. Drexler?
And it's been that way for a long, long time. The issue is now, because the high school is gonna be built and the stadium is right where the current road is, correct?
The stadium is
That's
in
why
this
it's an
area
issue.
here. No,
No.
the stadium is here, and the road, the existing road here needs to be removed. That green section needs to be removed, and the new entrance would be War Eagle Drive, and you would enter the youth park on this road. So we're removing that. There's no question about removing that road from the Park Service. They just want to clear up that since this road deviates from the county's property onto the Board of Education's property, that the board agrees to allow access to that park across their property.
I mean,
And that's the way it's been.
That's what I meant. It's been going on for all this time, but now because, it's been going across the school property, but now that there's new construction in the area, they just wanna make sure it's clean.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. This interlocal agreement addresses that one little bit, that one little section of roadway right there. If that was over on the
that was
county's property or the Little League property, then we wouldn't have to do this interlocal agreement. It doesn't have anything to do with the conversion. It just has to do with the section of roadway that is currently not on the, quote, county's property. That's what it's about.
I got a question. I'm not sure if I know exactly how to ask this, but it says the new county road, Dr. Hartness, that comes down through there, right there.
Right there.
And then see where it curves off toward the property line, that right there, up through there. Okay, my question is, what if something happens in that stretch of, are we protected? Because is that county property or is that school property? If something happened coming in on that road,
Well,
because the way I read this thing, it says county agrees to hold a school harmless and indemnify a school for any claim of any kind on nature which might arise because of the use of said access road. Now, I'm thinking the said access road is down here,
Yeah, the way I
that's that,
understand it
okay.
is that.
How are we protected on that? Or are we protected? You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
well, until the school's paid for, the property's gonna be in the county's name anyway. So it'll all be in the county's name. Really, the main reason that this interlocal agreement is having to be having to happen is because that one section of roadway is not on
Yeah, I understand all
county
that.
property, and it won't be.
And I'm
because
not
that-
really, my question's not really referring to that. My question is, are we protected as a school board on that area of New Road up there that comes off of,
I believe we would be, because this entire area is owned by the county of Davie for the next 20 years during
Okay.
the financing.
Okay.
This area back here is owned by the county of Davie. This is the only area owned by the Board of Education.
Yeah, and I guess the reason I'm asking that, because the first part of that road, that's in the white, it says New County Road, and I wonder why they didn't just name all that New County Road. But
I don't
that
know
was
the
my
answer to
question.
that, but I believe we're protected.
You know, and I guess I have one other question. In part 3, it says, this agreement shall be perpetual but may be terminated by either party. I mean,
If it were terminated by either party and it affected the LWCF grant, there would have to be
they would
additional
have to
approval.
approve it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that was what I needed.
and that's where in number 4 there, I guess it is.
Well, it says it over in 4, the agreement can be amended only if such amendment is not in conflict with the, but that's an amendment, and this says terminated, which to me is a little bit different, but a lot
I
different.
will let you know that the folks who recommended this have reviewed this draft for both the National Park Service and the state have reviewed the draft, and they were okay with the draft as it was written. So they didn't have any reservations about anything or any language within it being in violation of what they had recommended.
Do we have any other questions or comments or concerns or about the interlocal agreement? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the interlocal agreement for the Davie Youth Park Access Road as presented. We have a motion by Mr. Junker. Do we have a second? Have a second by Ms. Owens. Do we have any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Moving on now to public address to the board, I will turn it over to Ms. Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we could sing a song if we would like to, in honor of the season and the festivities, but no one has anything else to say to you tonight. So if you would like me to start, I would be. The
Start the
12 Days
song?
of Christmas, maybe, you think, something
Jingle
rousing?
bells.
Either that or we could do it later, so I guess probably you should move on with your business agenda.
Okay. Moving on to committee and staff reports, and first up, we have a curriculum report by Ms. Noelle Grady-Smith.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman Fuller, board members, and Dr. Hartness, and community members. I'm here tonight to give you a close-up of how we are approaching achievement scores and increasing our performance abilities in our schools. I have about 8 pages of specific strategies, which I will not list every one of, but I have summarized them for you, and it will be an easy little trip. We believe that we can meet the challenges of a rigorous curriculum by increasing teacher understanding of our standards, by intentionally scheduling to capitalize on instructional time, and by empowering students to take more responsibility for their own learning. Strategically designing interactive and engaging lessons and units. So let's look at what's working. Teacher-created pacing guides are not new to us, but they are being done in much more depth and with much more intention. We also have teachers sharing information and best practices. The Davie Experience is just one of those ways, but we're gathering teacher groups from across the system regularly to speak about curriculum and what they're using that's being effective. Many teachers are using formative assessments, and I would say that's increasing on a regular basis. Student data is being used as a tool for understanding what students know and what they can do. And I would say one of the biggest factors is that principals and assistant principals are supporting our continual professional growth. We have principals who are leading their schools in using new methodology and strategically planning with their schools, especially with the professional learning communities. There we are. That's a typical teacher, isn't it? Lots of juggling. So how can we work smarter? Teachers are realizing that they simply cannot do it all by themselves. So they look to their professional learning communities, or PLCs, which are gradually evolving to become problem-solving teams. These are meetings to analyze data, and they are being implemented across all grade levels. One of the ones that I'm particularly impressed with is a kindergarten PLC, and then in another school, a second grade PLC. So this is a different approach. We're really looking at data to guide our instruction. Also, teachers are focusing on the standards. We call it unpacking the standards to better understand them. And we have to align them and be sure that our teaching matches the rigor of the standard. So we have to read very deeply. We're communicating with parents to ensure that students are getting time and attention at home for thinking, reading, and completing assignments. So the teacher can't do it all by herself. Why is it so important that we work together in teams? Teachers adapt their teaching when they are in an environment that supports high-quality improvement. Teachers working together can better examine the quality and rigor of assignments. There's a little distance there. A whole group can look at it with a different set of eyes. Teacher teams study each standard, and in some schools they go to the degree of looking for the progression of the skill from the development at kindergarten, following the standard all the way through 5th grade. And in middle school, we're looking at 6th grade all the way through those high school courses. Teachers are also creating tests together. Common assessments give us common data points. Then we can analyze what the students are learning and understand how to approach our teaching better. And we've discovered that a team is more effective when we're determining if our own assignments and tests are appropriate for what the standards are asking the students to do. Reading a standard is not an easy task. You have to really concentrate on the verbs that are constantly changing as the grade levels change. So they're looking for higher and higher levels of thinking. So instruction has changed quite a bit. Students learn in diverse ways, and instruction has to be differentiated to meet their needs. Core instruction, what happens in the classroom, has to be the strongest part of a big pyramid of services. Identifying student needs and designing activities and assignments that meet those needs is important for the core instruction, as well as any students who are having their needs met through RTI tiers. Our instructional coaches are working with teachers to build spiral reviews, construct question prompts, develop quarterly benchmarks, implement multiple pathways for learning, and to guide that teacher collaboration in PLCs. And in one school, we have a pioneering effort with grade level data coaches that are holding monthly meetings to examine school trends and address student needs. So how has testing changed? Students are tested more frequently now than they have ever been tested before. Both teachers and students are subject to high stakes in the testing process, and increasingly higher all the time. The validity of testing is currently being reviewed and questioned across our state. The scope of curriculum and the scope of the tests can sometimes be a bit inconsistent, so it's difficult for a teacher to know where to focus within this broad curriculum, because then we have an unknown target for what's going to be tested at the end of that. Summative testing begins in kindergarten with M-Class. Children sit with their teacher and read to their teacher, and then they are questioned for comprehension. When they move on up to 1st and 2nd grade, it includes a writing component, which is quite challenging for any student, and has really been something that our teachers have been stepping up to. And then we roll into standardized testing, as you know, in 3rd grade. So let's talk about math. Even our youngest students are learning to use the multi-step approach to problem solving. You can sit down with a little 1st grader and they're going to just walk you through the sequence of events to get to that answer. We've also been working closely with Wake Forest University Medical Center and the Center for Excellence in Research, Teaching, and Learning for problem-based learning. And I would say we have at least 2 to 7 teachers in every school now trained through this method, and that opens us up to a bank of resources online that are very helpful to our teachers. Students are also retaining information more efficiently through the use of spiral reviews, where they keep going back and including what they've just learned and tagging it on to what they're learning now. That might just seem like common sense, but in math, it's an approach that really, really has gained a lot of traction. Students use math in practical ways, participating in STEM and in activities before and after school with robotics. And many students are beginning to understand the idea of thinking about thinking, or metacognition. How do I solve this problem? What kind of thinking do I use? There are also guided math groups, just like there are guided reading groups that are beginning to emerge, so that's a different approach as well. Now let's look at reading. Teachers are building literacy all the way across the content areas. So you're being asked to write, read, and speak in all of your areas, including math and science. Students are grouped according to their reading levels, with comprehension and writing being a focus, and that ties back in to the way the children are assessed. Teachers are being trained in 3 primary areas in terms of literacy, and this is mostly at our elementary level: reading foundations, Hill Rap, and Letterland. Students are given a variety of ways to assess their own reading abilities. Often you'll see reading and writing built into their arts classes. And teachers are using leveled readers that are high interest and appropriate for the student's reading level. This has been found to be extremely successful in our middle schools. So I would like to remind you that it's not about luck, it's about helping children to succeed. So concentrated effort is being directed toward creating a deeper understanding of what should be taught, why should it be taught, how should it be taught, and how we know our students are learning what has been taught. So I would be happy to entertain any questions that you have, and I came armed with lots of ideas if you need any further explanation. So quiet.
Any questions?
Thank you for your kind attention. I'm very proud of our teachers, our principals, assistant principals, and instructional coaches for all the effort they're putting into student achievement.
Mr. Chairman, I want to say thanks to Noel and our curriculum staff and all of our principals that are here, and assistant principals and instructional coaches. A couple months ago when we shared our accountability report, we said we want to come back to you and just share some of the strategies, and Noel has outlined some of those strategies tonight that we're using and finding real success with. So thank you, Noel.
Thank you for that report, Noel. We appreciate that. We know a lot of hard work went into that, a lot of hard work going into training teachers as well to improve student success. At this time, we're moving on to finance, and I think Ms. Smink is going to give us an update on the construction budget.
Thank you, Chairman Fuller, members of the board, Dr. Hartness. We're being passed out to you is an update of the costs for the new high school as of today, the expenses that have been paid out. Back on September, just a refresher, the left side of that spreadsheet is the actual construction budget, and then the right side is the list of expenses and the dollar amounts as of today. Back in September, we had expensed about 11% of the entire budget. And today, December 1st, we're at 22%. In September, we were at just about 6.9 million. Today, it's almost 7 million. You can see the largest increase in, obviously, is with New Atlantic, our construction contract. Are there any questions about the expenses to date? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Meek. So we moved about 10 or 11% this month. That's. Oh, I'm sorry, that's right, yeah, that's what okay, I'm with you. Okay, thank you for that update. At this time, we're moving on to Human Resources, our 2016-17 school calendar, and I'll ask Mr. Wallace to talk to us about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board, as you can see there, some information regarding the 2 calendar options that we have. A group from every school, administration, parents, and teachers were represented in our group, and we've met on 2 different occasions and put together 2 different options. I will say the same thing I've said for the last 2 or 3 years. Not a lot of differences. And there's been quite a bit of discussion around the state about the start date, possible waivers, but you will see in next year's 16-17 calendar, we will not be able to start school until August 29th. Hold it, sorry, August 29th. And so our bookends, as I've illustrated, move this way on us this year. So we still have to get the 215 teacher days in, 180 student days, and of course the required work days and holidays in, annual leave. I'll be glad to try to entertain any questions, and we will send this out to allow our staff to vote on that, and I will come back with that information once we gather that.
Have any other comments, questions for Mr. Wallace? Thank you for that update.
Yes, sir.
At this time, we're moving on to a discussion about school trips. Dr. Hartnett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been asked a couple times over the past few weeks in the light of world events, the tragic events in France and other parts of the world with terrorist activity, about out-of-state field trips. And my response has been, I polled some of my fellow superintendents in the region, that we need to hold steady, and the trips that we have approved to continue to plan for those activities. But I wanted to remind you that we do have a school trips policy, and in the event that there was some type of specific threat to a city that our students might be planning to visit, there might be the potential of canceling a trip if that happened, and that's just beyond all of our control. And I've shared with the principals this week that we just need to make sure that when we have parents who are paying fees for trips that are out of state, that they know that there is some type of risk when they submit those non-refundable fees, that trips could be postponed or delayed or canceled in the event that there were activities that are beyond our control. So I just wanted to share that with you and let you know that would be my recommendation to the board. If at any point in time you feel like there's a clear threat to the safety of our students or a trip, you could instruct me to postpone or cancel or redirect those trips. But all the companies that we work with, there is a risk when you put deposits and you put money down on trips. The closer you get to the trip, the more money you would potentially lose if you'd cancel that. So I just want to make you aware we do have a policy, and my current recommendation is that we continue with the scheduled trips that we have approved. We have students going to Atlanta, to New York City, to Washington, D.C. in the spring, and there may be others as well, but those are the ones that are planned right now. And entertain any questions that you had or concerns you have about our school trip procedure. Okay.
I think it's I agree with you. We can't let these people stop us from living our everyday lives, and certainly if it's a credible threat, then we may change course, but I think you've made the right decision.
Have any other comments? Thank you for that update.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you for that update, Dr. Harness. At this time, we'll turn it over to Ms. Wilson for a minute as a matter of housekeeping for our
Right.
closed session meeting.
Board members, I recommend that you join a lawsuit filed in Wake County Superior Court to request that the state pay fines and forfeitures with regard to improper equipment fees. that the Court of Appeals has already ruled belong to the school system. And by joining this lawsuit, which is captioned Bertie County Board of Education and others versus Janet Cowell, State Treasurer of North Carolina and others, 15 CVS 13881, and I will give you a caption. Pending in Wake County Superior Court. By joining this lawsuit, you will be in line to receive payment of fines and forfeitures that the state has collected in the range of $300,000 for Davie County, and we're hopeful that it will be resolved quickly and with little cost, and that you will be able to get money that was rightfully yours in the first place. Well, it's hard to say how many school districts will join. I suspect it will be quite a number. I represent 4, 3 have already voted to join, you being the third, and there's one that hasn't met yet, but will likely vote to join. The lawsuit was originally filed with about 30 school boards, and there are significantly others that are joining, just because it's easier for all of us to be together as one and get the payments established than do individual attempts to chase that same process.
So with the list you have there, I mean, you're pushing a third of the state school systems.
Oh, it'll be more than that.
Yeah. Pushing
It'll
half.
be, I would be, it'll be a rare not to be a party.
So we have a recommendation to join this lawsuit to claim these fines and forfeitures. Do we have comments?
Can you give me any kind of example of why a school system somewhere would not join it?
I would venture to guess that a school system would not join because they don't know about it. And it is conceivable that if you're a relatively small system in a relatively obscure location and your board attorney is not tied into the relatively small group of people who do frequent school board work, they wouldn't know about this. And that's why they wouldn't join, and I can't imagine why, I'm not aware of anybody who would say, gee, I don't want that money. I mean, it's rightfully yours.
Any other comments, questions? At this time, I'll call for a motion to join this lawsuit as recommended by Ms. Wilson. We got a motion by Ms. Owens. We have a second by Mr. Drexler. Do we have any other comments or questions for Ms. Wilson? Absolutely. Anything else? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Ms. Wilson. We look forward to hearing about a check in the range of $300,000+ coming Davie County.
I will deliver it myself were that the case.
Thank you. Well, that looks like that concludes our business for the evening. Do we have any board members who'd like to make any comments? Always like to give the opportunity. Okay.
Dr. Hartness already knows, other board members may or may not know. I went to the Greensboro Statewide School Board Association meeting and sat in on several discussions during that. And I should have said it during the curriculum achievement part, that what was presented here, what we have going on in Davie County. Sure, there are areas where our students can do better, and collaboration with the coaching and the teaching and the best ideas being shared, et cetera. I think Davie County is, I know for a fact from some of the discussion I heard, we are way far ahead of some of the counties that are in trouble for various reasons, but nonetheless, they're behind. So I'm very appreciative of our group of people that are involved in anything to do with putting together the curriculum and the techniques of teaching. We have a lot going on good here in Davie. That was an interesting meeting. I shared some of the information with you. Thank you. Oh, and Merry Christmas to all you and to all of you.
Thank you for those comments, Mr. Drexler. Do we have any other?
It was exciting to see the children stand with their artwork, and I will say that this is probably the quality of artwork this year was just outstanding. It was superb. And each card represented something about Davie County as well as the holiday season. And so those cards, you look at them very carefully because they do send a very important message. And the background music, I thank the tech group for having that background music, because with the holidays, the main focus of that background music was, let there be peace on the earth. Have a great, great holiday.
Anybody else? Well, I would like to say thank you to everyone for coming out tonight, and I would echo Mr. Drexler's holiday wishes, and Merry Christmas to everyone, and Happy New Year. And we look forward to a good and productive and successful new year. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. We have a motion by Mr. Drexler. We have a second. We have a second by Ms. Horn. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. We are adjourned.